the almighty Latin King and Queen Nation, ALKN. LKN is a large Hispanic street gang in the United States of America. Its roots date to 1954 in Chicago, Illinois, where it developed in the Puerto Rican and Mexican community, which had expanded during a period of increased migration to the mainland, in modern times, having great influence in Ecuador, Peru, Venezuela, and regions in Brazil. The Latin Kings Street Gang was formed in Chicago in 1964 and consisted of Chicano and Puerto Rican males. The gang has some Cuban, Central American, and Dominican members. In Spain, the membership consisted of Latin American and Caribbean members. In Brazil, members consist of indigenous, Afro-Brazilian, and some white and Asian Brazilian members along with some Caribbean immigrant membership as well, founded with a philosophy of overcoming racial prejudice and creating an organization of kings and queens. The Latin Kings evolved into a criminal enterprise operating throughout the United States under two umbrella factions: Motherland, also known as KMC, King Manifesto and Constitution, and Bloodline, New York City. All members of the gang identify as Latin Kings. Individuals of any nationality may be accepted as members. Citation needed: Latin Kings associating with the Motherland faction also identify as Almighty Latin King Nation, ALKN, and make up more than 160 structured chapters operating in 158 cities in 31 states. The membership of those Latin Kings in Chicago is estimated to be 20,000 to 35,000. The Bloodline Manifesto was founded by Luis Felipe aka King Blood in 1986 in the New York State Collins Correctional Facility. Latin Kings associating with New York State Bloodline Chapter also identify as the Almighty Latin King and Queen Nation, ALKN. Membership is estimated to be as many as 7,500, divided among several dozen tribes operating in 15 cities in 5 states. New York State Bloodline Latin Kings share a common culture and structure with KMC and respect them as the motherland, but not all chapters report to the Chicago leadership hierarchy. The Latin Kings have a hierarchical organizational structure. They have numerous chapters or tribes across the country, which adhere to a regional, state, and a national system. Officers, Inca, Cacique and Enforcer, are supported by a Crown Council of 7 members. The council sets rules and regulations and holds disciplinary hearings. The hierarchy rises to regional officers and ultimately to 2 supreme regional Incas based in Chicago. The head, or heads, of the entire criminal organization are known as coronas, crowns in English. One retired detective said in 2004, "When you compare them to other street gangs like the Bloods and the Crips, none compare to the organization of the Latin Kings. When any member believes that another member has violated a regulation, they begin the disciplinary process by submitting a procedures for violation form. 6. This form includes a variety of information about the allegation, including the violation, the version of the accused, and members present or other witnesses. If the member is found to be guilty of the violation at their Crown hearing, they may be subject to a range of penalties depending on the severity of the offense. The Latin King colors are black and gold, but some cliques may also wear red. Gang markings consist of a 5 or 3-point sacred crown, writings of LK, ALK, ALKN, ALKQ and abbreviations, or the whole words, and drawings of the lion and or the king master. Latin King symbolism is usually accompanied with the name and number of the tribe, region or city of the gang. The Latin Kings are members of the People Nation Alliance of Gangs, and are therefore opposed to the rival Folk Nation Gang Alliance. Most kings wear black, and or gold. The teams kings represent are usually Chicago teams, such as the Chicago White Sox, and Chicago Bears. But also the Pittsburgh Pirates, Pittsburgh Steelers, Pittsburgh Penguins, New Orleans Saints, Los Angeles Kings and Boston Bruins. According to L.A. Kaufman's in the February 2015 issue of the New York Magazine, what also made the Kings different was their unique mixture of intense discipline, revolutionary politics and a homemade religion called Kinism, adding idealism and a boot camp rigor to the usual gang camaraderie, a potent mixture for troubled ghetto kids whose lives lacked structure and hope. Kinism as an ideology is a unique blend of tribal gang rhetoric and religious mysticisms. As one member put it, the manifesto is considered our Bible, and reading it is to go from the darkness to the light. This can readily be seen in the following passage from the King's Manifesto explaining the significance of the salute, which readily combines organizational fealty with Judeo-Christian theism and some variety of nature worship, a fist upon our heart. It means I die for you are flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood, son of my mother, who is the universal nature and follower of Yahweh, who is the Almighty King of Kings. The Latin kings operate under strict codes and guidelines that are conveyed in a lengthy constitution, and they follow the teachings of the King Manifesto. According to the manifesto, there are 3 stages, or cycles of nation life that constitute kinism. They are, the primitive stage, that stage in life where the king warrior acts on impulse, executing his action without giving them the serious thought that they demand. A stage of immaturity where the king warrior's time is spent gang banging, getting high, and being recognized as big and bad. The conservative stage, at this level the king warrior becomes tired of the primitive stage. He no longer wishes to participate in the senseless routine of gang fighting, hanging on the corner or being recognized as big and bad. Most often at this level the king warrior gets married and retires. It is inappropriate to call this stage maturity.